Jegede is Britain's #3 long jumper, but in his words, he's more than just an athlete. I'm at the Lee Valley Athletic Centre to chat to JJ for this edition of The Truth Athlete Insights. JJ, thank you for joining us. It's great to meet you. Now, JJ Jegede, that's a pretty cool name. What does the JJ stand for?
You have to blame my mother for that. JJ is not something that I chose. She said she watched Sons and Daughters, and it was a character called JJ, and she liked it, and so I was called JJ. It doesn't stand for anything. It's just two J's.
Your name is two initials?
Just two initials. It is nuts. It has problems when you're going through the passport agency and stuff like that, and they're complaining that, you know, it shouldn't be two initials, but there's no dots in between. It's just JJ.
JJ. Well, it sounds pretty cool to me. Now, you are #3 ranked long jumper in Great Britain, behind gold medal winning Olympian Greg Rutherford and Chris Tomlinson. So to have 3 world-class long jumpers, you know, on your own doorstep, I mean, what's that rivalry like between the 3 of you?
I mean, it's great to push us both, all of us on together. You know, Chris and Greg have been around for a while, and it's been great for me to start coming up and starting to sort of fulfil a bit of my potential. And we're hoping next year that it'll be even closer rivalry. And, you know, sometimes I've beat Chris a few times this year, Greg as well. So it's good. It's nice. It means it gives it a good mix, and everyone's, when they're on the home turf, knows it's not going to be easy.
Yeah, well, so you always challenge, you know, you don't have to go abroad for that challenge.
That's go abroad.
Now, talking about your own training, you're coached by Peter Stanley, who was Jonathan Edwards' coach,
Correct.
as I understand. What's his sort of training philosophy or style? How does he get the best out of you?
Oh, right, okay, Pete is he's really placid, okay, quiet, really nice, humble guy, all right, and what he does, he gives me really simple tips, he doesn't overcomplicate things, very simple. He say, JJ, I want you to do this, and it works well for me. We have a good relationship, we get on just as people, but also as a coach, he's very clear, he knows his stuff, got a very good eye, and he's able to get the best out of me because he knows that there's bits that I need to work on, and he's focusing on them to try and get me better and better. So he taught me how to really long jump. So before I used to just run down and just hope for the best. But now, you know, I understand what I'm trying to do. I understand what I'm trying to get off the board. I understand what I'm trying to fly. So I understand how I'm trying to land. And I never knew those things before. So that's why since I've gone there, I've been getting PBs and PBs and PBs. So it's exciting times for me.
And what is your PB, just for those at home that don't know?
My PB is 8 meters 11 and 8:04 indoors. But I mean, they're not good PBs, if I call it. I haven't hit a sweet jump. A sweet jump, you know, you get at the pit and you just know it's big.
What does a good jump feel like?
Oh, it feels like you got shot out of a catapult. Okay, so you hit the board and it just feels like whoosh, someone pushed you, and you fly and you land it well.
And do you know from the moment you've taken off if it will be a good jump?
Off, you know it's sweet. Okay, and then you just want to land it. And if you don't land it, you're like, oh, that was so close. I could if I just got the landing. But then when you get the landing and you get it sweet, I know that there's bigger jumps in there. So I'm hoping this season it'll finally come out.
It'll all come together. Yeah. Now, you're with the long jump, you get 3 jumps and then you get a further 3 if you qualify. Yeah. So what's your approach to setting out for that first jump and making sure you make the cut and then go from there?
Very important, because of the runway and because we have to be very accurate. You know, the long jump runway is only 20 centimetres for the board. So you've got to be very accurate. You can't just run down there, guns are blazing. You've got to make sure you have a control about yourself. So my first one is to try and get one in, but still not hold back. I make my run up a bit further back to give myself some room. So I run as fast as I can, but have some room to spare, so I know I won't sort of hopefully not go over. And then through the rounds, I bring it close to where it should be and go out to attack. And mainly, I'm always in attack mode because I want to try and get from either the first jump or the 6th jump to be good jumps.
Yeah, so you want to get that safe one
everything
in first. Oh, good stuff. Now, describe a typical long jump training session for you. You know, this time of year, it's winter. What sort of session will you be doing?
Well, this time of winter, I'll be doing some short approach. So my normal run-up's 18 strides, which is quite short to most people's, but I get up to speed quick. So during this winter season, I'll probably be doing 12 strides, 14 strides, getting a rhythm, getting my rhythm off the board and timing. Because it's very important with my event about the timing. The faster you move, the less time you have to take off. So if you run off 12 strides, you get more time to take off. But keep moving back, go to 14, you get less time. 16, you get less time. And 18, you get even less time. And it's all about merging those timings together so that when you go out to 18, the rhythm's nice.
It's so technical, and so many people watching might not sort of appreciate it or realise that, just think you run down and jump, for example. But do you have any sessions which are really gruelling, really tough, you know, really challenge you?
I mean, the week's gruelling. I mean, by the time you start on Monday and everything's nice, your body starts to ache. You know, you finish a hard sprint session and long technical session, and then by Tuesday you've got weights. You've got heavy weights. You know, you might be doing, at this time of year, I'm doing 10 reps of 70% of my load. So it's quite intensive. You finish a session, you're tired. And then Wednesday you want to come and run again. And then Thursday we've got another weight session, but single leg weight session. And then Friday he kills it off with a plyometric session. So by that time you're...
Which is jumping for people that don't know.
So jumping over stuff. So jumping onto boxes, jumping onto hurdles. And at that time you have nothing left, but it's about what you can bring out. So try and bring the quality.
Okay.
I used to do a lot of volume. Now our volume's shortened and it's all about quality. So we've got to make sure we're doing our exercises really well.
Okay. Now you describe yourself as not just an athlete. You know, this is on your website. So what else are you? What else do you represent?
I represent a lot. You know, athletics is not just the only thing I do. It's my love and my passion. But I have a passion for kids. I have a passion for the kids that I live, the area that I grow up in East London, in Hackney. And I try and work with a lot of the youth to try and give them something to do. Because I remember as a kid not having a role model, a father figure. And I want to try and make sure that the kids that are growing up around me, or the young people, have a role model to say, all right, this person did it like this, JJ did it like this, maybe I can go out and do it the same.
So how do you do that? What does the work involve?
So a lot of the time I go into a lot of the schools, work with the police as well, Metropolitan Police, and I was working with a lot of the disengaged kids in schools, and I sit down with them and I tell them a bit about my life, a bit about how I never had anything, how we didn't have much money, but how I was able to get introduced to sport, and how sport allowed me to teach myself so many things: discipline, time management, and found something that I loved. And those kids, I know there's something out there that they love, but it's just finding it.
You can hear that passion in your voice as you talk about it.
It's just, when I found my sport, it was great because it got me out of the life that the life where I lived.
Well, you did describe you had a difficult upbringing and a difficult childhood. Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, my mum was a single parent, looked after myself and my 3 older sisters. So 4 of us, my mum struggled for money, and sometimes, you know, we didn't have enough to pay bills, got evicted. I lived in so many different houses before I was 15, about 10 different places. So when I was young, all I ever wanted to do was try and live in a better place and try and achieve something. So for me, when I have got to a place now where I'm getting better and starting to achieve, I want those kids to realise that it wasn't this easy and that they can do it too. But it's just about, you know, having a mindset, having good people around them, and having role models like myself, hopefully, to get them in the right place, get them in the right clubs, get them in the right schools, just to go out and try different things, you know, and find that talent that you have, because everyone has a talent.
And what has that response been? How have the kids responded to you?
I mean, I go into a lot of schools. I'm probably going to about 3 schools a week, and the kids are really excited, firstly, because, oh, you're on TV, you jumped over the minis. So they're just like, they're excited, and straight away they warm to that. And then they hear about my story, and they understand that I didn't have it easy. But then they also realise that I'm just like them. I listen to the same music they listen to. I go to the same shops they go to around where I live. So they feel that, oh, it's attainable, rather than seeing it on TV and thinking, oh, they're totally different.
They can reach out to you, they can see the person.
They can understand.
You mentioned there, and I must bring it up, about the minis. You jumped over 3 minis for a BMW stunt.
Yes.
Tell us about that experience.
It was so nerve-wracking. People don't understand. I got there the day before. I'd been put up in a nice hotel. I was feeling quite good about this. And they took me down to the event, and I looked and I went, oh my gosh, it looks so far.
How far was it?
Now, they said it was 6.5 meters for the cars.
Which is easy for you.
Which I thought I should be able to do. But I needed to put a board just before. So it worked out to about 7 meters, 7.20. Okay. And I had to go for a short approach because they didn't make the run up long enough. So I was like, okay, end of season. My body wasn't really fresh. I was like, okay, I just need to make sure I get over this. So I got home and I thought, I'm going to relax. I'm going to be fine. Unfortunately, my body didn't feel the same. I slept for 2 hours. I was like, I'm never normally restless. Even for competitions, I'm not restless, but I was restless for this. So I got there the following morning, and they only said there's going to be some photographers there. And, you know,
Play it down.
It's fine. I got there, and lots of people that were going to work saw cars and a ramp and a stand and thought, oh, this looks interesting. We won't go to work, we'll wait. So by the time I got there, there was 200 people there watching. And I knew if I got this wrong, it's got YouTube views now. but it would have had millions and millions of YouTube views if I hit a car and hurt myself. And I knew the Olympics were coming.
Was there some insurance policy around potential injury?
We did have insurance policy around it. But I wasn't hoping to be claiming. I was just hoping, please, let's get this right. So I had a run up just to make sure it was right, but it was still hard on top of the cars. So I said, all right, I've got to get this right. I said, all right, trust yourself. On my video, I keep saying trust, trust. Just imagine it's not there. Yeah, which is quite hard to do. And I just ran down and just did what I said my coach teaches me to do, and did it. And when I got over, the relief, I was so happy. I was so happy.
Was it just one attempt that you took?
I had it twice.
Twice.
So I got it on my first attempt, did it again for cameras. They wanted to get nice. They said, want some more shots? And then I did it. It was a great sense of achievement because it's like, all right, this is like a pressure situation.
And I bet no one else has done that before. That's quite unique for you.
It is quite unique. It's quite a good little thing for the kids, especially when I show them you have jumped over 3 cars. They're like, wow.
Yeah. And I think that puts the distance in perspective as well, because when you say 8 metres, it's quite hard to visualise.
Exactly.
But you know, when you can picture 3 cars side by
when I go
side.
into school and I step out 8 metres, they're like, oh, what is that far? Because you're right, you do need a bit of perspective, and cars gave that.
You do. Oh, what a great opportunity. Now, you talked about the mentoring that you do, but you're also a personal trainer, I understand.
Yes, I do personal training. I love trying to help people get to their fitness goals. It's all about trying to give them a tool, a planning tool, be it food plan, to give them, help them feel happy about themselves.
Great stuff. Now I'm picturing you getting your clients jumping into sand pits, running through sand. You use the principles of your training for your clients.
I do. I use the principles that you need rest, but you need to work hard when you're here. So I do a lot of circuits, a lot of the stuff we do in the winter. Circuits,
the conditioning.
Conditioning, boxing, use different exercise, interval runs, and try and spice it up sometimes with some of the stuff I do. So sometimes we get them doing mini plyometrics, all right, just light little bounds, but so they can get a feel of what we do. But most of the time, most people aren't at a level that what I'm doing. So it's just we keep it very basic, but the intensity is probably what they're not used to, and that's what gets them the great results.
Well, that's how athletes get such great results. It's so good talking to you. I've talked to you all day. I've got one more question for you before we go on to a quick fire round, actually, and that is, what are your goals for this coming year? Because obviously there's the indoor championships, there's the worlds. What are your aspirations?
Biggest aim for me this year is to jump over 8:25 and make the world championship team. I know this year I performed in the European Championships and I came 4th, and it was good because I was just in the championship for once and I showed that I can perform in a championship. But they put our standards up so high that it's all about getting 8:25. So the aim this year is probably not going to do the indoor. I'm going to just make sure I'm ready to go to warm weather training in April, fit and healthy, to jump really big hopefully in April. That's the plan. So I can do some of the Diamond Leagues early and go to Moscow for the World Championships.
The main championships, good stuff. Right, so as I said, we have a quick fire round, which is a 50-50 round. I'm going to give you 2 questions, or 2 answers, sorry, and you tell me the first one that comes to mind.
All right, I think I can do that.
Easy stuff. Comedy or action?
Oh, I love comedy, love action, but I'm an action man.
Okay.
Yeah, action.
Blonde or brunette?
Ooh, blonde.
I was wondering whether that's because I'm standing there. Early bird or night owl?
Definitely an early bird. Very productive in the mornings.
Sweet or savoury?
Sweet.
Aston Martin or a Lamborghini? Car of choice?
Lambo.
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 Cats or dogs?
Definitely dogs. Cats are awful.
Oh. Glass of red or white?
Oh, I'm teetotal, so I don't really drink. But if it was anything, I think it'd be white.
And is that because of athletics?
Yeah, I just don't like it.
You don't drink. Night in or night out?
I have a lot of nights in, but I do love a good party, so I'd have to say night out.
Okay. And over 30 metres, who would win, yourself or Usain Bolt? 30 metres.
I think I have to give it to Usain there. I think he would. I'm sure he would beat me.
It's been an absolute pleasure to talk to you. You know, such a motivating individual. Wish you the best of luck for the season. Thank you. And thank you for watching. Please join us next time for The Truth Athlete Insights.